Okay, now we're on Chapter 2, Lesson 3, Division with Two-Digit Divisors. As you can see, just based on some of these answers that they're already providing for you, we're not really going to be using a standard algorithm and equation to do it. Instead, we're going to be using pictures. We use the quick picture to divide. And so keep in mind that in a quick picture, they're going to be using something similar to what we did with the base 10 blocks in Chapter 1. Instead of drawing a small square, they can use like a circle or dot, and this represents 1. Sometimes you'll even see me use like just literally a dot. So instead of even that circle, sometimes I just use a dot. Instead of making a long, they use just a line to represent the 10. And then a flat is still kind of like the flat. Sorry that that's not even at 100. But like I said, this one is the one that kind of changes a little. It's more of a circle, and sometimes I even just use a dot when you see me do it. So these could all represent 1, the 10, and the hundreds. So what we're going to do here is we're going to label the dividend. And even though they have the answer for us here, I'm going to redo the whole problem on this paper just to show you where everything's coming from. So I'm going to cover this for a second so I could describe it a little easier without all that stuff in the way. So 132 divided by 12 equals what? 132 is our dividend, and that's our total. That's the total amount of flats, longs, and small cubes altogether. 12 is our divisor, and those are kind of like our equal rows, or how much is in each equal row. And then we're looking for our quotient. What is the answer to this division problem? And when it says use the quick picture, they're asking for us using flats, longs represented by just a line rather than a small rectangle. And then, you know, little dots or circles or squares for the number 1. 132 is our dividend, which is our total. 12 is our divisor. Going left and right, we're going to write our divisor here, and that's 12. So if we're to represent our divisor 12, what we're going to do is have 12 going up and down. And what I mean by up and down, you want, how can I explain this? Let's start with a hundreds block, the flat. The flat is a 10 by 10. And so all we're concerned about right now is going up and down. So far our divisor is 10 because we have 10 going this way. So if I want to make 12, I'll need another long going this way. That's 11, 12. So do you see where this 12 is coming from? Here's our divisor. 10, 11, 12. If we did 10 the other way, it would be way too many long lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is kind of like a shortcut because our answer, our quotient is going to be more than 10. So here's 10, 11, 12. And this number is taken from our divisor, 12 right here. Now what our divisor tells us is every time we're going to be adding 12, 12, 12 until we hit 132. So right now we have a 10 by 10, which is 100. We have one long, which is 10, and another long, which is another 10. So far this picture represents 100, 10, 20. So far the picture represents 120. Our dividend, our total needs to be 132. So what we're going to do at this point is add another set of 12. So we're going to do, this time we're going to go 10. See how there's 10 here? 10, 11, 12. And these are our ones. So this is 10, 11, 12. What we just did right now is we added 12. And when we add all of this together, 100, 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, you get 132. That's our dividend. This right here is our total. And you could see here that our dividend is 100, 10, 20, 30, 31, 32. That's our dividend. Our divisor is 10, 11, 12. And so our quotient is right here. 10 plus 1 which is 11. Let me show that to you again. Our divisor is 12, 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12. Our divisor goes this way, and then our quotient goes that way. Let's do another problem and see where the numbers come and kind of compare and contrast the two problems. The next one here is 168 divided by 14. 168 divided by 14. 168 is our dividend. This right here is our total. It's what we have all together. 14 is our divisor. And what we're looking for is our quotient. So 168 is what we're going to have in the picture all together in the middle. Our divisor goes this way. So our divisor is 14, and it goes up and down. So to represent 14, we're going to start with the hundreds flat. It's a 10 by 10. So far we have 10 for our divisor. We need 4 more. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have, there's 10 going up and down. There's 11 going up and down. 12, 13, 14. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This divisor tells us how much to draw. We're going to start with a 10 by 10, and then we're going to add longs going left and right up until we hit 14, our divisor. Whereas in that other one, because 12 was our divisor, we only have 12 going this way, 10, 11, 12. So the first step is just doing that. Whatever the divisor is, we're going to draw 10 by 10 and then add the longs until we hit the divisor. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Whereas in the other one, it was 12, 10, 11, 12. The second step is to count how much we have in this picture so far. A 10 by 10 is 100. A long is worth 10. This long is worth 10. This long is worth 10. This long is worth 10. So far we have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40. Remember, our dividend is 168. So we need to draw these pictures out until we hit our dividend. Last time, we added 12 because our divisor was 12. So we added 10, 11, 12. This time, our divisor is 14. So we're going to add 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we added one more column of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we added 14 more. Now altogether we have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So in our whole picture, our dividend, it's 154. Are we done? Our dividend needs to be 168. We're not done yet. We're going to add how much more? What's our divisor? 14. We're going to add 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 more. And so now we have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. And when you add this up, it's 168. Do we need to add another set of 14? No, because we have the same amount as our dividend. So our divisor goes here. This right here is our dividend. It's 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 168 is our dividend. So the total amount here, the divisor's here, and this right here, going left to right, is our quotient. And our quotient is 10, 11, 12. What you do is you count the amount of columns. So our divisor is going up and down. Our quotient is going left and right. There are columns. There are 10, 11, 12 columns. That's our quotient. So within this picture, the dividend is the total amount of pictures, flats, longs, and small cubes combined. The divisor is how many rows are going up and down. And then the quotient is how many columns are going left to right. 10, 11, 12. So let's try one more. When you do this one, you'll see that you just have to fill in the numbers. You have the same exact picture as them. This is 10. There's 2 of these, and so your answer is 12. Now, let's do one last one. 195 divided by 13. This right here is your dividend. This right here is your divisor. 195 divided by 13. We want everything to equal 195. And up and down is going to our divisor. 13. Up and down. We're going to start doing that 13 with a with a flat, which is a 10 by 10. And then we want 13. That's a 10, 11, 12, 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. So keep in mind, in this one, when the divisor was 14, we did 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. When the divisor was 12, we did 10, 11, 12. Because the divisor is 13, we did 10, 11, 12, 13. From there, we count how much we have. A 10 by 10 is 100. One long, another long, and a third long. So far we have 100, 10, 20, 30, which makes a lot of sense because 13 times 10 is 130. From there, we're going to add 13 every single time until we hit 195. So 130, if we want to get to 195, we're not done yet. Let's add 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. That's one set of 13. So here we have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 143. Same as if we're to add those. Are we done yet? Yes or no? No, because we did not hit 195. How much are we going to add? What's our divisor? 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. Add another one of those. Now we have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 6. 156. Are we done, yes or no? No. What are we going to add? 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. Add 13 here. We have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 69. 169. Are we done yet? Not yet. What are we going to do? Add another 13. 10, 11, 12, 13. Here we're going to have to do a little bit of regrouping. That's 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. This equals another 10, so 82. 9 plus 3 is 12. 182. Because this 3 by 3 and that 1 equals another long. So far we've added 13, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 13s on the side. Are we done? No, we have to do it one last, well, no, if it's one last time. I kind of did the math in my head, so I do know. 10, 11, 12, 13. And when we add that, 5, 9, 1, we finally hit our target goal. So we added 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, which is why we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them right here. So now, here's our divisor. Our dividend is, this, which is 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95. 195 is our dividend. It's our total. And then our quotient is right up here. And that is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So our quotient is 15. Now, one great way to double check this is, remember when we put this inside the house, our dividend goes 195, our divisor goes over here, and our quotient goes up here. To double check our work, if we multiply 13 by 15, we better get 195. So if you want, you could double check your work by going divisor times the quotient, divisor times the quotient, and you better be getting your dividend, and you do. Okay, so you know that's not quite an option. In order to get check plus, I do want you to double check your work by doing your dividend times your divisor times your quotient, and see if you get your dividend. I want you to write it out left and right like we were doing for the multiplication, for the division in the 2 previous lessons. Write it out like this. You don't need to show your work for it because this is showing your work right here. And then try multiplying these two out, 13 times 15, and see if you get your dividend. Because you should be able to see where all the numbers are coming from. Our divisor times our quotient should equal our dividend. Our divisor times our quotient should equal our dividend. All right, I hope that this lesson helps. Ooh, almost forgot. Word problems, our favorite. Let's hit towards the word problems. What I'm going to do is I'm going to help you solve the picture box, to create the picture boxes, but you'll have to solve the problem on your own. There are 182 seats in a theater. The seats are evenly divided into 13 rows. How many seats are in each row? So, yes or no, do you have a total? If so, it goes on top. You do have a total. There are 182 total seats in the theater. In the whole theater, there's 182 seats. Now, the seats are divided evenly into 13 rows, but you don't know how many seats are in each row. So, here's a box, and either 13 goes inside here, or there's 13 boxes. Let's figure out which one might make more sense. Sorry, let me just get a little more comfortable, too. The seats are evenly divided into 13 rows. How many seats are in each row? So if this one box represents one row, do you know how many seats are inside? How many seats are in each row? You don't know. That's what you're trying to find out. That's the how many. That's your X. This is your second row. Do you know how many seats there are in the second row? No, but it's the same amount as row 1, which means they'll be the same letter. And you can draw 13 rows out, but you do know that there are 13 rows. So your X represents the total seats in one row. From here, what you could do is say that there's 182, subtract 13, and see how much there is in that row. 13, 13, 13. Since you know the total, you know the dividend, you know the whole, you're getting smaller. The two operations that get smaller are subtraction and division. In this case, because it's repeating the XXX, we're going to divide. 182 divided by 13. And you could do that using the same kind of methods that you were doing above. We're going to do the last one. I know I'm kind of rushing through things. Sorry about that. There are 156 students at summer camp. The camp has 13 cabins. An equal number of students sleep in each cabin. How many students sleep in each cabin? Do you have a total, yes or no? You have a total of 156 students total at camp. Now you have 13 cabins. If you put 13 inside of one, then you're saying inside one cabin there are 13 students. Is that true? No. One box is kind of like a house. It represents one cabin. Do you know how many people sleep in a cabin? How many students? No. That's your X. That's your unknown. In the second cabin, do you know how many students sleep in there? No, but it's the same amount, so it's the same letter, it's the same number, X. And we're going to keep going until we have 13 cabins. From here, we do 156 is the total, and you're getting smaller. Subtraction and division are the two that gets smaller. And we're going to divide because we're repeating x, 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 x. So 156 divided by 13. And you could solve it doing the ways above. If I solved this one a little too quick for you, definitely try to rewind it and make sure that makes sense. You're not just copying it just for the sake of copying. Do label what your x is, which is the total students in one cabin. And enjoy. Don't forget to do the back side of this. Have a good day.